might be moving and they went too far with it. My name is Emily Brochet, and I am here to do a little interview. I don't know if you've guessed. I've interviewed. Have you guessed yet? Okay, we gotta do better. Before I say who's coming out here, we gotta make sure you got our energy. So, are you ready for this panel? Let me do it one more time. Are you ready for this panel? Alright, without further ado, as I figure out what's going on with this mic, here to bring out the one, the only, Elizabeth Olsen. You have been an actor, producer, you have been Scarlet Witch, you've been mother, you have been now a serial murderer?
Yeah, well, not serial.
Just a murderer, just one.
Well, who are you talking about? Scarlet Witch?
Oh, that's what I'm talking. Oh, we can't go.
Oh, sorry, I was being a little too delicate.
About murder.
About hurting your eardrums.
Oh. All right. So do you think that's just no?
How are we doing?
Oh, this is
better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just saying that I was not a serial murderer in my show, and I committed one murder in my show.
Yeah, that was the only one I did.
We were talking about Scarlet Witch when you said serial.
Is it cereal or mess? Anyway,
No.
who knows? I think the point is that you've come a very long way in your career and doing some incredible stuff. You know, I'm always so curious when folks love what they do. What do you think have been some of the most important lessons that you've learned? Because you've been on all sides, actor, producer, and really understanding storytelling.
I think the most important, I think the lessons change. How are we doing with this mic? Okay, good. I was scared to talk too loud. I think the lessons change depending on what my role in something is. How to choose a job has become, I mean, it's such a boring conversation, I think, for most of you. We're going to talk about how I choose my jobs. But that's been mostly about the people involved and seeing if people are adaptable to collaborate and make adjustments. And then with the marvel of it all, it feels a lot more, it's been a long time, and I feel like it's become quite a dialogue between what fans want and what the bigger picture is at Marvel. And so they're very good at collaborating. And I know sometimes when I do interviews, they like pick words out, and it makes me feel frustrated because when I talk about like how crazy the Doctor Strange shoot was, that wasn't because of our writer. Our writer is a really fabulous writer who's a great collaborator. It's just sometimes things are very chaotic and unorganized, and that has nothing to do with the writing. Because I do think that people at Marvel are really incredible collaborators when it comes to like script and character development. Was I surprised? Yes, to do what we did at Doctor Strange. I was. But that's okay. Surprises are good.
And I think that leads to two things, right? One, bravo to that entire cast and production for doing that work in such a high, tense time. Because I think a lot of people forget when that film was filming.
Yeah.
We were, at the height of a pandemic, and, but kudos to you. That was a lot of work, and a lot of multiple. So, I don't think it's that boring, because I think a lot of people ask, but you have chosen some very interesting roles, and you've really gone, and not only challenging roles, but like challenge yourself as an artist. Because a lot of people like to follow folks' career once they see that one character and go, okay, so how are they in this kind of character, this kind of thing. For you, have you chosen these challenging roles intentionally? It's something you do actually think about and go, oh, I've never played a murderer who's also, in an affair.
Yeah, I think when it came to Love and Death, I was really excited to play. I know Scarlet Witch is a feminine character, but specifically Candy Montgomery being from Texas and getting to play with the time period of what was required of women from like a cultural standpoint, a social standpoint. Those were things that I was excited to explore because I don't feel very connected to that myself. So there are, personal reasons, and then there are people involved. And I loved the tone of the show. I thought it was going to be like quirky and dark and funny, and then it really takes a turn. And I think the jobs that I have coming up are all for different reasons. Some of them are like championing a filmmaker, doing something that is just things that I miss, I think, is how I kind of make choices. Is like, what am I missing right now? Am I missing a romantic comedy? Like, am I missing? Yes. But what's my version of a romantic comedy? And so there's like, it's fun to be in the position of being picky, and it's also, terribly boring because you don't work as often as I'd like to be working. But I'd just rather be picky. But I am having a lot of fun with the jobs coming up when we get to go back to work. Woo!
So I was going to ask about WandaVision. The last time we talked was actually the virtual premiere for WandaVision. So many awards. Like, I can list them out. I have this on this paper, but so many nominations, Grammys, Nebulas. It's unprecedented how successful the show has been. And it touched so many parts of nostalgia and so many parts of Wanda and Vision's story in such a way. And every episode was a new challenge. You mentioned a little bit about this evolution of, Wanda Maximoff and being in that collaborative process. What has it been like for you to see this evolution of this character? I mean, honestly, age of Ultron.
Yeah, it's been a really amazing. Every time I find out I'm or asked to participate in, specifically with WandaVision, because Disney Plus was not an app. We were one of their very first shows, and that was a scary thing to do when you're also launching an app. I've been a part of a show that launched scripted work for an app for Facebook. I don't know what they call it, Facebook Watch or something that's now not doing scripted. And that was a great experience. I loved the show, but some of these apps don't work out. And so you don't really know with Disney Plus. You're like, well, Disney's it's Marvel, it's Disney, but you still feel weird bringing these larger-than-life characters to a small screen unless you are making the story specific to the format, which our brilliant creator did. We made a show with these Marvel characters for a television screen, and I think that was the smartest thing about that show, and it was really part of Kevin Feige's the seed that we had to do WandaVision. It was all there, and it was, I can't even explain how much fun we had shooting that show. It was so hard and so exhausting, and it was so long, but we had so much fun that you don't usually get to have that much fun and for people to like something.
sometimes you have, one has to give, and we had the greatest time. And when that came out, I was filming Doctor Strange in lockdown number 4 in England. And so I had no idea the response that it was having in the States. I mean, it was having it also in England, but I was like in some remote town. Like it just wasn't something I was aware of. So it felt like it all happened while I was in a snow globe or something.
Quite appropriate for the metaphor of WandaVision.
I thought so, yeah.
Besides the incredible soundtrack, WandaVision also gave us so many versions, so much complexity, so much more than we had gotten of Wanda before. And for those who love cosplay, so much material. And I gotta ask, at this point, you've probably seen almost every single version of Wanda cosplay possible. Like I've seen a Scarlet Witch with the dark hold and the fingers, and she's able to like hold. The creativity is beyond.
Yeah.
But for you, do you feel like, because you had hair in the first place, do you feel like there was a costume or wardrobe piece that was most memorable for you?
It's so funny, I think about all my wigs. Like every single decade had a different wig. All of these are in, under lock and key in some storage room. They're very special wigs, and I really think about those specifically. They felt like they have, and I worked with the same hair and makeup team playing this character since, Infinity War? And so that's, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was like 6 years ago, right? I have no idea when any of these things happened. When we filmed them. But so every wig has felt like, has informed the character. Even the wig that we made for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, that felt so specific to that Scarlet Witch. And with WandaVision, all of the haircuts throughout the times were so fun. And you have to get different textured hair depending on the style. And we have this like stick straight 70s wig, which I love. And I saw quite a few of those cosplays today of pregnant Wanda in the 70s. And that one really just gives me a lot of joy, I think, that specific look. And I don't know why, but it does. I think those were my happiest days on set, because it was the most kind of like physical slapstick comedy we did.
So I gotta ask, because a number of fans did, besides all of the other incredible work we do as a successful actress, you have also helped co-create and co-author books with a character named Hattie Harmony. I know you've probably talked about it before, but folks who may not have heard of Hattie, or just want to know more, what was the inspiration for the character, and why did you choose the medium of children's books?
So my husband and I, it was 2020 or maybe 2019, we were just trying to figure out what are positive stories, how do you engage with really young kids about the importance of storytelling, and where does that begin? And it begins with picture books. And so he and I started playing around with picture books that no one wanted to buy, but they appreciated our humor, and one publisher specifically said, I'm not sure if these ones are really marketable. Have you guys thought of doing something in the mental wellness space? And we both thought that was pretty funny, considering that the majority of our conversations are about our mental well-being. And so I feel like we both have had our own experiences, and he's a very character-driven writer. And so instead of it being something poetic or lyrical, it was about what's a character that can be associated with basically kids developing this emotional behavioral language And when they look at this character, it reminds them to breathe, or it reminds them to like, you know, do something tactile, which is really helpful for kids. And we paired up with child psychiatrists to make sure that we were using proper language, which is very important. And yeah, it's been this amazing journey, and we found the most incredible illustrator, Marissa Valdez, and she brings so much humor to all the characters, and getting a book back with her first sketches is like the most exciting day. It's really fun. She has a lot of hidden Easter eggs for us. She has, like, you know, her publisher's name written in there, and there's a lot of cute things that we have loved to discover that Marissa puts in. But yeah, the Hattie books have been really fun. And we really, so far there's 2. We would love to be able to make more. And we really would love to make it a preschool show one day. And that was really a big part of the development, was how can we create art and a character that translates well to that medium, because we really think that she could be, you know, kind of just a helpful voice and also fun.
All right, so. Never be afraid to die. So we have one last thing we gotta do, and by last thing, I mean the most important thing. We have a couple fan questions.
Cool.
If I butchered anyone's name, my apologies in advance. But we have Duda Gomes from San Juan, Brazil. Says, if you could go back and do any season or movie with one of the characters you played before, who would it be and why?
Like, do it again, get to play that character again?
Yeah.
I really had a fun time playing Canton Montgomery, which is a weird thing to say. But I would love to get to continue her journey. I think she was a really strange puzzle for me to figure out. And sorry, that is for people who don't know, it's from a show called Love and Death. That's on HBO. Yeah, they changed the name. When we were finished, they changed it, but now it's on Max. And yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. But it's a limited series, it'll never happen. But I, you know, I guess if, you know, answering this question in my make-believe space, that's what I would say.
I like it. All right, so we have Hines from the Philippines. You've been in Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, WandaVision, and Multiverse of Madness. If you could change one thing about Wanda's character and or story in the MCU, what would it be?
If I could change one thing?
Just one thing.
Oh gosh, I just want to figure out the whole mutant thing. Like, that's really, and I don't think any of us can do anything about it, you know? Like, we can't do anything about it. We're not X-Men. But gosh, like, I just would love to explore that so much. I think X-Men was definitely my first experience with superhero type films. I don't even know what year that was in, but probably the early 2000s, I think. 2000, yeah. And so I would love that. And I guess, what's his name? Patrick Stewart. He made a cameo in Doctor Strange, but I didn't get to work with him. I worked with no one. It was just like my side and then someone else's side in a different country. So I never got to work with him. I know, so I do these interviews where people ask me if I know people, and I'm like, nah, I don't. They're like, you didn't speak with them. I'm like, I know, but I don't know them.
But this was the same thing when I was talking to Tom, and he was like, no, I've never been in the same space with her until now.
Yeah, no.
On this other movie, that's not Marvel.
I still haven't been on, maybe once I was on set with Tom. Spider-Man. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, no, we did a movie together with him. That's the thing.
Are you talking Hiddleston?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I was never on set with him. No, but I'm genuinely also thinking about Holland. I think only one day I was ever on set with him. And I think that scene was cut out of a movie.
Uh-oh, I have to find that one. All right, Joe Lopez from Chicago, Illinois. What character, other than your own, from any movie or television series that you've been a part of, can you personally relate to the most and why?
That I have been a part of? These are complex questions.
These are very complex questions.
So
Hope you're watching.
projects that I've been a part of, but a character I did not play.
So like you could show up a set and you could just switch characters with one of your.
Thank you.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
I think I have fun playing Agatha.
Who wouldn't have fun with Agatha?
I love playing Agatha, and then I'd love to play Aubrey Plaza's character in Ingrid Goes West.
Great choices. All right, we've got Maria Dominia from Latvia. If you were to live in one of the sitcom eras from WandaVision, I think you've kind of answered this one already. Which would it be?
If I could live in it?
One of the eras.
Oh gosh. I thought actually the 90s one, if I had to live in it, I thought the 90s world was pretty funny with the playing, with the camera. I don't know. Yeah, I liked all of them, but yeah. 80s was, you know, that's like a horror movie, the 80s sitcoms. Those are terrifying.
There's a lot of kitsch. It's a lot of kitsch.
You know, just like cue the sad music. It was terrifying.
All right, we've got Nito Gonzalez from Brownsville, Texas. My question for you,
Brownsville.
what did you learn? What did you learn from playing characters like Wanda, Leah, and Candy that you still use today, whether it be about grief, making mistakes, and consequences? Or did you?
Oh gosh.
These are such complicated.
I know. So I love getting to look at a character and be confused by the choices they make and the decisions they make. And I really like to figure out now what would lead someone that is the decision they make, because it seems so different from what I logically think I would do. And in that, I'm not ever trying to teach an audience member a lesson of any kind. That's truly just my own like personal exploration of someone that I can understand, but I don't technically relate to. And to me, that's an important brain exercise, because I think if we can like go around the world and see people who behave in a strange way or make odd choices and we don't understand them, I think if we at least use our imagination to think, well, I guess these are the elements that could have led to this moment where this person acts this way or makes these choices. I just think that's like a nice world to live in. And so I guess I ideally like playing parts that don't make a lot of sense to me. And in that, there's no like lesson I learn other than like trying, you know, obviously there's morals, there's values, there are very bad things and there are very kind, good things. I would say the majority of life lives somewhere in between. And so that it's really just what makes us feel different from one another. And so just trying to like figure out what that looks like is, that's I guess the lesson in it. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's creating a backstory, right? It's really putting yourself into someone else's shoes and understanding, I wouldn't do that. But this character clearly did that. Why did this character do that?
Yeah, and I think, it's like with Candy or with Multiverse of Madness, you know, I was like, wait, what? This is happening again? We just got him on our side, guys. And then that's also smart, you know, for them to play with audience expectations like that. And now that you're on my side, watch me do some maybe morally bad things, and you're gonna feel weird because you now understand why I made those choices. And I've been able to meet some parents who are dealing with kids who are sick, and they were the ones who related to that. that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness the most, because it would not matter what they would do for their child. And so I'm just like thinking about like the few stories that I've heard and messages that I've received.
I'm literally saying the goosebumps.
Yeah, and that's really, and so, yeah, so like, you know, we're watching a character do something crazy, and I'm like, that's crazy. But there is some person out there who then watches it and is like, oh my God, I never knew that that's how I could feel about that. And so, you know, it's all worth exploring, even if it makes us like confused or angry or frustrated.
Love it.
All right.
So, last question. I'm going to give you a softball.
It's already been 45
It's
minutes.
not, you're done. This is the last question. I'm sorry.
No one told me how long I was going to be up here, so.
You're going to love this question, though. Maybe, I don't know. Gabriel from Los Angeles, California said, my question is, what would happen if Godzilla and Wanda meet? Will
This can't be the last question.
I know, I feel like this is like, I have one more question if you really want, but I think it's awesome to talk about, but I'll answer it. I'm saying, would Godzilla and Wanda be friends?
For sure. Are you kidding me? that little animal is a sweetheart.
Oh my gosh. I just remember seeing the Godzilla that I was in for the first time, and I was like, look at all those emotions that animal has. Like, or monster, whatever you want to call them. Animal is nicer, I think. Creature. Yeah. No, she would like bite it or something. You know, she's like a Targaryen.
Now all I have to vision, image of Wanda like riding Godzilla into the sunset.
With her like long hair, fiery red, just like holding on to him with a blue screen in the back.
Oh,
Some fan art could be inspired by this.
someone is sketching as we speak. All right, since we are going to
That's actually a great question. I do have another one. I did say
one last question. Victoria Dominguez from San Antonio, Texas. I had it. In WandaVision, we see other characters or heroes like Darcy and Monica Rambeau join Westview and live a perfect sitcom life.
Was not.
Object. What other Marvel heroes would you have liked to have seen in Westview?
Oh, who would I have liked to? I think Thor in Westview would be fun. You know?
I just imagine him in a suit with a briefcase, walking like Tiffany's little hat.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, or maybe he would be like a god in a sitcom, you know, like he thinks he's a god, right? Isn't that his whole thing? That he's a god, or he's a god? He is a god. He's a god. Yeah, I think it would be fun to see his comedic chops in Westview.
All I can imagine is in the 80s, a full aerobic, like sweatband,
Yeah.
like arm sweats, with, like the shoulder shorts.
I don't know how we make this happen. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with his journey in Marvel. Someone's got to catch me up one of these days, and I only catch up when I get to do another one. I'm like, tell me what's going on.
You will find a lot of things and take a lot of pictures, and someone's going to give you a quick synopsis this weekend.
I'm here tomorrow. I'd love to know what's going on in the Marvel universe. I do watch movies, but sometimes watching the movies, that when you see how the pie is made, or whatever that saying is, I feel like it's harder to watch them because you're just like thinking about how it was made the whole time. Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I would love for someone to let me know what's going on. I have no idea.
you have homework assignments tomorrow.
Because there is another Thor movie recently, right?
Thor Love and Thunder.
Right. And Natalie held the hammer in the trailer.
Oh yes, she did. And she held it the whole thing. Thank you so much, Elizabeth Olsen. Thank you.
words I will leave you